Hey there, cat fans. This is Meowster Podcast. I'm Rebecca Zish. That's Tim Black.
Hi.
Hey, Tim, what's up?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No. Nothing is up at all.
Nothing?
No.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. Go play with your cats. Just kidding.
We know you're kidding. Okay. Today, we are going to discuss a 1997 film, animated film, that I saw not when it came out.
No.
Not even 10 years after it came out.
Okay.
I would say like 3 or 4 years ago, I decided one day that on my DVR, I would put a search on it for the words cat and kitty.
Okay.
And just see what kind of stuff might record.
Right.
And this is one of the things that recorded.
Fun.
And I told you about it.
Yeah.
Not at the time, apparently, because I mentioned it a few months ago.
Right. A couple of months ago, maybe.
Not 3 or 4 years ago.
No, not at all.
And you were like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Never heard of this.
I thought, that's so strange that I didn't tell you at the time.
That is.
So the film is titled Cats Don't Dance. So you see why, when I did that search,
Why it came up.
Yes.
Yeah. Cats is right there in the title.
Right there in the title. Yeah, right there in the title. I could have done a search for dance.
You could have. You could have done a search for don't dance.
That's an interesting search.
That is. That's a negative Boolean search thing.
Yeah, like you might get episodes of sitcoms where it's like, you know,
Mr. Roper doesn't want to go to the dance.
No, it'd have to be don't. It would have to be the words don't dance. The kids don't dance at the
prom, at the sock hop.
I was going to say at the competition, which causes problems for Jerry. I don't know. Because that'd be a Seinfeld episode.
That'd be a Seinfeld.
Yeah. Elaine and Kramer don't dance
when they're supposed to.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get a lot with that.
No, that
search.
would be the tough
search. That'd be hard. Won't dance. You might get more with that.
Yeah.
In any case.
Anyway.
I wouldn't do a search just for dance. I think you'd get
all kinds of.
Oh my God, your DVR
Dancing with the Stars. Yeah.
Were you going to say Dancing with the Stars guard?
No, Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, I thought it was a special thing.
That guy could be on that show.
Okay, if Peter Sarsgaard ever appears on Dancing with the Stars in any way, shape, or form, say his wife Maggie Gyllenhaal is a contestant and he sits in the audience, okay?
Yeah.
If it ever happens, I owe you $20. And I have a feeling I'm going to win that. If the show gets canceled in the future and he's never appeared, you owe me $20.
Oh, okay. I don't think that show's ever going to get canceled.
Okay, all right. So you're making that bet?
I think a bet's just been made.
All right, I'm making that bet. Seems unlikely. Even, you know, his brother-in-law is Jake Gyllenhaal. So maybe, but I don't imagine him competing on that show either.
No, probably not.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
I think I may have to wait 20 years, but I think I'm going to get $20. All right. Cats Don't Dance. Let's talk about that instead.
Okay.
Here's someone who might appear on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
And that is the star of this movie. It's an animated movie, but he's the voice of the lead. And his name is?
That would be Scott Bakula.
That's right. The great Scott Bakula.
Great Scott Bakula. Or as I like to call him, Quantum Leap.
You know, I mean, he's on TV right now.
Yeah.
Like NCIS New Orleans?
One of those, yeah.
Yeah. NCIS Tampa? NCIS
Bakersfield.
I was going to say Topeka. I mean, they're running out of places. Anyway, the great Scott Bakula. Yeah, I mean, he has been the lead in a television hour-long series forever.
So, yeah.
I mean, there was Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap was when I was in college. That was on.
And then he was on Star Trek. Which Star Trek?
One of the incantations of.
What was that one called?
I don't remember.
Oh God, people are yelling at
I
us right
know.
now in their cars. And then of course whatever NCIS.
Right.
I think it's an NCIS. I don't think it's a CSI.
Right. No,
Okay.
no. Yeah.
Although that does get confusing.
It's a lot of initials.
They have similar letters, a colon, and a city.
Yes.
It's very confusing.
It can be confusing.
I can't believe that no one...
Maybe we should change the name. People are going to get... No, because then people will watch our show by accident.
I think that's possible.
Yeah.
That is what... I think it's possible that is what network executives are saying.
Yes. We'll get
and they do draw
audience
the same
by
audience,
accident. Yeah.
and I know that because my mother watches both.
Okay.
So that's who they're reaching out to.
Okay.
But it does seem silly though.
It does.
But I think the greater argument for it, beyond the marketing and building viewership through accidents.
Yeah.
Is that is they haven't done anything different with the letters.
No.
Like that there is a thing called NCIS and there is a thing called CSI. So they couldn't really change it
right
if they want to call their shows by letters.
I think they missed an opportunity. They could be doing all kinds of crossover episodes.
Maybe they do.
They're
on the same network.
The CSI Miami and the NCIS Cincinnati crossover episode.
I don't know. Miami and New Orleans aren't that far away.
No.
I don't know.
But I know when CSI Miami started, they had a crossover episode with the original CSI in Vegas.
That's really far.
It is.
Except that they're all shooting at the same place in Los Angeles. So
right.
It's not that far.
It's not that far. Oh, not
it's
really.
It's just a walk.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-minute walk. You can't even finish your coffee.
No.
Really close. All right. So Scott Bakula.
Yes, back to the movie.
Scott Bakula, so this is not just an animated film like others that we've watched.
Right.
And it's not even just an animated film with original music like others that we've watched.
Yeah. This
is an actual musical.
Right.
With animated animals dancing.
Right.
And so
it is.
Scott Bakula plays Danny, who's a cat.
Yes.
And he does dance despite the title.
He definitely does.
He is a dancing cat.
He's dancing like almost from frame one.
Oh yeah. He loves dancing.
He loves to dance.
And in all of the stuff, if you go and you read all of the marketing materials from the time the movie came out, there's this one quote that pops up over and over again from one of the producers. It says, people are going to be surprised at Scott Bakula. He's a real song and dance man. Because that's actually how I knew him before he was ever in Quantum Leap. I had seen him perform numbers on the Tonys as a kid.
All right.
And it's like, who's that guy? I believe I should have looked this up, but I believe he was nominated for a Tony for a musical called Romance, Romance.
Okay.
I think that's probably why I saw him on the Tonys. But I'd seen him probably also like on the Today Show and stuff. I'd seen him singing and dancing. Not like there was a musical episode of the Today Show. I'm saying that sometimes on the Today Show
they would have. Yeah, I understand.
For a second, I thought, what am I talking about? But there was all this promotional material. People are going to be so surprised that Scott Bakula is singing and dancing. I'm like, well, they're not going to be surprised about him dancing because he's not dancing.
No, he's not.
But I kept finding that so funny. It's him singing.
Yes, he's a very competent singer, by the way.
It's not him dancing.
No.
It's an animated cat.
That's silly.
It's so silly. And it's not like they asked him to dance and they just animated him.
No, they weren't doing Scott Bakula motion capture.
No, not in 1997.
Not in 1997, no.
No. So he has a love interest in the movie. So the main female character is voiced by Jasmine Guy, who is also great singer and dancer. She
did not sing.
But she did not sing.
No.
And this takes me back.
No, because this is another. Yes.
This is another thing, like in Oliver and Company.
Right.
Where I didn't understand why Cheryl Lee Ralph wasn't singing. Right? They had Anita Pointer. Was that Anita Pointer?
I thought it was.
It was one of the Pointer sisters.
No, I thought it was Natalie Cole.
No, this is Natalie Cole.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, I thought. Okay.
No, in Oliver and Company, I think it was Anita Pointer.
Yes,
right?
I think it was.
Singing for Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Yes.
Who is a fantastic singer.
Right.
Jasmine Guy, really great singer, also really great dancer. And at this time, when they cast her in this, in all the promotional materials, they said, whoever remembers her is Whitley on A Different World.
Right.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But she was one of the stars of Spike Lee's musical film School Days.
Oh, yeah.
And she sings and dances up a storm in that movie.
Right.
And when she got the part in that movie, part of the marketing for that movie was like all of the singing and dancing she'd done on stage before she got cast in A Different World. And so here, again, they've cast this woman who can do everything they need done.
Yeah.
And instead of letting her sing so that her voice will match her speaking voice, which it does not.
Not at all.
I mean,
it's very, very different.
It was a
Jasmine Guy's got a very distinctive voice.
Yeah, and I think she does a great job. And it's shocking to me that she hasn't done more voiceover work.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I was thinking the same thing.
I thought her performance in this was really...
She was fantastic.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
And she really caught that character.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. But then it wasn't her singing.
No.
And I knew from everything I'd read that it was going to be Natalie Cole. Great. They got Natalie Cole. Good for them. But no, it doesn't sound right when she starts singing.
Right.
It sounds beautiful because it's Natalie Cole, but it doesn't sound like that's the voice that should be coming out of that character.
Absolutely.
You know, I felt that way in Oliver and Company.
Yes.
But it wasn't this bad.
No, I know. This was
so much worse.
So much different.
And both women are doing a great job with the material they're being given.
Yeah.
It just doesn't match up.
Right.
They're singing songs by Randy Newman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other thing, like the Jasmine Guy, Natalie Cole thing, is that it's two different little girls singing the part of Darla Dimple.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a character in the film who's like a evil Shirley Temple.
Right.
She's basically like that character from Tiny Toons. Do you remember the character from Tiny Toons?
Yeah, you're right.
Who, like,
yes.
loves animals, but she squeezes them so hard that they try to get away from her.
Yeah.
Except this little girl is actually evil.
She hates animals too.
Yeah, she doesn't love animals and hug them too hard.
No.
She hates them.
Right.
And she's demonic, I think.
Yeah.
Like there's some animation of her that
yeah.
is scary.
She's evil, yes.
Yeah. But so I read that, and this is funny because I remember this from when I saw the film a few years ago, looking it up.
Yeah.
Because thinking, wow, is that a child they got to do that role? Because her singing is magnificent.
Yeah.
Like, it's really strong singing.
Mm-hmm.
Very Broadway musical style singing. A lot of belting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big and loud.
Big and loud. It turns out that it's two different people, both speaking and singing for that character, but they were both 10-year-old girls at the time that they recorded them.
Yeah.
They were born in like 1984 and 1985.
Okay.
You know, so if the movie came out in 97, they were recording them in like 95.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why. And they were both working young actresses. So it's not like one could sing and one could act.
Right.
I guess they just, when they were auditioning them, they liked one girl's take on the character in terms of the acting, and they liked one singing better.
I guess so.
I just don't feel like they do that now.
No, I don't think they. Yeah, it's
because you can look up those two actresses on IMDb. They both worked like through to the 2000s. It appears they're both still doing voice work, at least they were within the last 5 years. Yeah, but they both, you know, were doing guest shots in TV shows. They both had spots on things that ran a few years, playing people's daughters and stuff. They're both working young actresses.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It is confusing. Especially, it doesn't seem like something that would be done now, especially when you think about, we were talking about that Cat in Paris, that animated thing where they wanted to dub it, but
Rabbi's Cat.
Rabbi's Cat, right? They wanted to dub it, but it was going to be too expensive. Like, well, they've like doubled their cast because they've got a singing version of this person and an acting version of this person. They did the same thing with Don Knotts. Don Knotts was a turtle in this thing. He plays the speaking part. Somebody else sang. He had a very small singing part, but still,
like one line.
One little part of a song, but
like
still,
the end, right?
Yeah.
Why not have him sing it?
Yeah.
He's Don Knotts. He's been in Hollywood for decades.
He can put a few lines together in a song. Yeah.
He can carry a tune.
Sure.
I mean, at the time that he became an actor, you couldn't get parts, and you were expected to be able to at least carry a tune.
Yeah.
At least talk your way through a song.
Right. I don't
get it.
It's confusing.
I didn't realize that. That is weird.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of this going on. It makes me wonder. I don't remember if I said it when we were talking about Oliver and Company, but I was really curious whether they'd actually had Sheryl Lee Ralph lay down all the singing tracks.
Oh, yeah.
And then had the chance to get a pointer sister.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if in this case they did the same thing. Like Jasmine Guy laid down all the singing tracks when she first also did the speaking part.
Right.
And then somewhere in the interim they got Natalie Cole.
Oh, Natalie Cole became available. So yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Natalie Cole did some acting too, and she was young.
Mm-hmm.
On Broadway.
Yeah.
So then again, I say, why not just use Natalie Cole?
I don't know.
I know, we can't get in their heads.
No.
And I go looking online for any stories about it.
Right.
Can't find anything.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The director of this film, Mark Didnell, Didnal.
Okay.
Was in the marketing for this movie. Because what I found was an old mirrored version of the official Cats Don't Dance page.
Okay.
So remember in the 90s?
I remember the 90s.
Remember what the internet looked like in the 90s?
Yes, I do.
So this is I have to show you this. This is a mirror of this website that has since been taken down.
Okay.
That you can find.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I'm showing Tim now what it looks like.
Wow.
This is what Warner Brothers put together as a website for their upcoming film.
Cats Don't Dance.
This is what websites looked like in 1997,
yes.
folks.
Wow. It's very colorful.
It's had like a lemon yellow background.
Right.
And then in pink letters, it says Cats Don't Dance, but it's not actually the logo of the film.
No.
So they didn't even have the capacity then to just copy in the logo of the film.
That's great.
Yeah. And then it says production notes, and it's like written on a musical staff.
Yeah. Because notes.
Notes.
Right.
Yeah. It's so cheesy. And then it literally is just this. It's just words, just paragraph after paragraph that you scroll through.
And they stuck a few pictures in there. That's kind of high tech.
Yeah, but you used to be able to like make a template.
Right.
And then just you have to put the same number of pictures on every page.
Yeah.
So what's fun is that, so on this page it says about the voice cast.
Uh-huh.
If you click on a name, it's got one of those HTML jumps that takes you to the place. Do you remember these, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
So look, if I click on Jasmine Guy, it doesn't take me to a new page.
No.
It just takes me further down this page. Remember that?
There it is.
Remember that?
Yes.
Remember how they used to do that?
That's fun.
It's super fun. I'm going to show you the best part, though, of
Okay.
this. I'm so happy I found this. There's a page for the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, ooh, the trailer. That's
nice.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to read what it says above it. What does it say, Tim?
It says, download the Cats Don't Dance trailer in QuickTime format.
In QuickTime!
Wow.
This is from 1997.
QuickTime.
I didn't even try because I thought it would crash my computer.
Wow.
Yeah, and the whole website, it's got this, the headings go to introduction about the story, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's got the exact same thing at the
On
bottom.
the bottom.
That's it. Top and bottom mirrored.
Ooh,
yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy. It's letting you know, too, that if you download the trailer in QuickTime, it'll be 6 megabytes.
That sounds like a lot of memory for those days.
Doesn't it, though?
Yes.
That's a lot.
I remember a computer that I bought at that time, the hard drive was 70 megabytes. So that's nearly 10% of
Yeah, you
would have been my
wouldn't
whole
want to
hard
download
drive.
this trailer.
No, I wouldn't be able to keep it. Wouldn't have any place to put it when I'm put on a floppy disk.
You could. You could put it on an external drive.
Well.
Yeah. Not a flash drive.
No.
No, I found that because I found this. It's the unofficial Cats Don't Dance fan site.
Wow.
And it was last updated on November 17th, 2009. And it's got a lot of interesting information on it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's got fan art.
Oh my gosh, there's fan art.
And what happened? This was what was this called? What was this design format called? Tim, do you remember?
I don't.
So I click over here, but the heading comes up over here.
Right.
It doesn't change it in the. What was that called?
I don't remember.
Oh, anyone out there who remembers what this design? We could post a link to this.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you could, while this was functional, this was a functional website.
Yeah.
It's still a functional website. It just hasn't been updated since 2009.
Right.
You could send in art if you had fan art of this movie.
Yeah.
And this guy would post it for you.
Great.
And there's fan fiction.
Okay.
There are comics that fans were writing.
Very cool.
Yeah. Here, let me show you. I'm just going to scroll through them. Take a look.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty good work people were doing.
It is. I didn't know that. Oh, there's Sawyer. She looks angry.
Yeah. That comic is titled Sawyer Has Second Thoughts About Auditioning for Splash.
Oh, okay.
Because she's all wet.
Yes.
See that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it looks like she went to the audition.
She just had second thoughts about it afterwards.
Right. Maybe I should not have done that.
Yes, now I'm all wet. I think is what the comic is telling us.
And I'm probably not going to get this part.
Because I'm not a mermaid. There's all kinds of interviews with people who were involved with the animation of the piece. There's a whole article interview with
this guy.
Scott Bakula. There's a lot of stuff here.
All right.
Including this thing I didn't understand. I clicked on, it sounded super cool. So on this site, if you click on this link that says fun stuff with an exclamation point.
Oh, that sounds extra fun.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
Okay.
You can click on this link that says Plain Crazy for Sawyer, and it's spelled Plane. So I did because that sounds amazing.
Right.
And I went to this page that looks amazing.
Oh my God.
Look at that. So someone...
So like World War II bombers or something?
Yes, someone is telling this story about Sawyer working during World War II. But what's weird...
Yeah.
It says, in early 1940, this is the narrative that's being provided for this material. Right. In early 1940s, Sawyer Cat was just beginning her journey to stardom, blah, 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 blah. And I went back, and the film takes place in the 30s.
Yeah, like 37, 38, something like that.
Well, in one scene, Gone with the Wind is playing at a movie theater.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the film takes place in the 30s. And the backstory for Sawyer, the Jasmine Guy cat, is that she had actually been an actress prior to this and had given up acting to become a secretary.
Yes.
And it takes Danny the cat to convince her to perform again.
Yeah, she was the secretary for the animal agent.
Right. So, who was human?
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
How did he talk to them?
I don't know.
It's very confusing. But he would take any kind of animals as clients.
Sure.
Yeah. Hippo.
They would be
alligator.
They would all be there waiting around. What do you got for me today?
Yeah, I don't think it's safe to have all those animals in the same place. But
very dangerous.
I guess what they have in common is their love of performing. Yes. And so they're willing to put aside the fact that they should really maybe be eating each other. It's weird. Yeah, but I was just confused about this. Like, I saw that, I'm like, this is so super cool.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense because this can't be happening before her career.
No.
If it's like 15 years later.
This belongs in the fan fiction section.
Even then, what? She would time travel?
I don't know.
Because cats don't live that long either.
No.
I don't know. I think, as always, I'm probably putting too much thought into this. But
perhaps, but
there's also,
still.
Yeah, there's also, there's a whole nother entry into this story that was done the following year by the person who did it. And it's as if they're putting together a photo album of their mom. It's a person who writes it. He calls himself William E. Catt.
Okay.
And he's supposed to be Sawyer and Danny's son or something.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh no, it's deep. It goes deep.
Oh boy.
Yeah. There's Dancing with the... speaking of Dancing with the Stars, here's Dancing with the Toon Stars.
Oh.
The cast of Cats Don't Dance team up with 8 of Toondom's hottest celebrities in a ballroom showdown.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, there's a lot. You don't even know, man.
Oh boy.
Yeah. There's so much. I can't even go on. There's so much here. But that's how I found the original Warner Brothers marketing page, was through this. And, I'm probably jumping ahead because to talk about fan art and fan fiction without actually talking about the film itself.
Right.
But some of this stuff is probably more interesting
probably
than the film. So what's your overall impression of this film, Tim?
I watched it twice.
It's very short.
It is very short.
If you fall asleep, you'll miss it.
Yes, that's true. First time I watched it was probably like 6 weeks ago or something like that when you first mentioned it. Then we didn't get around to talking about it until now.
Yeah.
So I watched it like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
The second time. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie. It's,
people love it.
I don't know if I'd go that crazy about it.
On like Amazon, if you look at reviews,
yeah,
they're like, I can't remember now, but at least like 74% 5-star, 4.5 5-star.
Wow.
Yeah, its overall rating on Amazon is over 4 stars.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's I like the animation is fun. There's a lot of visual gags. There's a lot of animal puns.
Yeah.
It takes place in the 30s, like we said, and there's W.C. Fields and Clark Gable make entrances, and
you see actual 1930s film stars.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, and you have to remember this was done by Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm, right.
Turner had already at this point, gone in and like bought up the rights to a lot of things too. So the sort of like Turner Broadcasting, Warner Brothers business was all working together, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I have that timeline right,
yeah.
right? And so like Tiny Toons had happened, Animaniacs had happened.
Mm-hmm.
So this style already existed on television.
Right.
It was interesting because my boyfriend asked me, was this done by the same people who did Roger Rabbit or something? And I said, no, this is from Warner Brothers, which Roger Rabbit is not from Warner Brothers.
Right.
And so they had to get the rights to use all those characters, or they had to use versions of characters from you when they made Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
In this, they have the rights to all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so the fact that Darla Dimple so resembles a character that was already on Tiny Toons at this point is fine because it's all owned by the same company.
Sure.
It doesn't matter, And a lot of these characters, like the dancing hippo that's voiced by Kathy Najimy.
She was great.
Of course she is.
Yes.
Kathy and Jimmy is a slam dunk every time.
Yes, absolutely.
That woman is a professional.
Uh-huh.
She never does anything even halfway. You tell her she's going to be the voice of a happy ballerina hippo, she is right in there, right on, But a lot of these characters you feel like you've seen before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they feel somehow familiar.
And I think it's because they're all just barely not what they were in something else.
Right.
Whether it's Warner Brothers cartoons or, the ones with Chuck Jones or the ones that were done by that whole animation house.
Yeah.
Right? And 40s, 50s, 60s, even into the 70s, they were making those. And then Spielberg?
Yeah, because if you...
Not Turner, Spielberg. Why did I say Turner?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. If you've been mad at me for the last 2.5 minutes, Spielberg comes in. He helps them develop Tiny Toons and Animaniacs.
Yes.
And, so this is that time frame where the WB has their own network on television. They're killing it in TV animation.
Yeah.
Right? And then they have this, and I went to look this up because I was so curious about it. I was like, in what frame of reference does this film get released? What other animation is being released from Warner Brothers at this time?
Okay.
Right? You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to see if you've ever seen any of these.
Okay.
All right. So what happened is Warner Brothers Family Entertainment was established in 1992. Okay, that's where this film came from. And they were, starting in 1992, that's Spielberg comes in and they start making Tiny Toons and Animaniacs and whatever else comes along with that, right? I mean, that's Pinky and the Brain, right? Come on, right? They're killing it. So they start making live action movies under the same umbrella.
Okay.
They make that Dennis the Menace movie.
Okay, yeah.
Not great.
Not great, but
right?
Yeah. I remember that.
They make Free Willy. Okay.
Yeah.
Big family fun, right? So then they get a little more serious. They make that live action Secret Garden.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And they make a version of George Balanchine's choreography of the Nutcracker, which I had no idea even existed.
Yeah.
And then they start doing some animation, and they release in 1993 Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Okay.
Okay. Which, someone who works in the library, still circulates on DVD.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. Any Batman animation.
I'm sure.
Is still very popular.
Yeah.
But then they make Thumbelina.
Okay.
And A Troll in Central Park. Remember that?
A Troll in Central Park.
Yes.
Okay.
Which earned less than $1 million at the box office.
Oh, no.
I'm skipping some stuff.
Yeah.
But they made the live action Richie Rich. Not good. Right? It's just, there's a lot of not good stuff.
Yeah.
So then they have to go back. They make like Free Willy 2, because they've got to make some money back.
It's interesting that Free Willy was one of those. Free Willy was one of the things that was parodied at the end of this movie. But they show some new movie posters coming out when the cats are allowed to work in Hollywood again.
Right.
And they're working in all of those, they work in all these movies. It shows them in all these movies. And one of them was what was the hippo's name? Tilly or something like that? Free Tilly. And it showed her sailing through the air. and it was like a parody of that poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same company, so they own the rights to that poster.
Right.
They don't have to ask anybody. Yeah, like that's a
that was
dunk.
That was one of the IMDb trivia things I read about this movie was that they had plans for other ones that they didn't own the rights to. They decided to not use those because it would have cost them more money, and they're like, we already have all these others that we can use. So
it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
they have a lot they can use. Okay, so then they make Space Jam. Oh,
there you go.
Because they say, okay, well, we have all of these properties we already own, right? So they make Space Jam that makes $90 million domestically.
Okay.
In 1996.
Wow.
Ton of money.
Right.
So then they're like, okay, let's just stick to animation. We got this. So then they make Cats Don't Dance, which makes $3 million domestically.
Okay.
It's not bad.
No.
Then they make the Swan Princess. Swan Princess Escape to Witch Mountain. No, sorry. Escape from Castle Mountain.
Okay.
And then those don't do well, so they make Free Willy 3. Okay.
Okay.
But then they made Quest for Camelot. Do you remember that animated film?
Vaguely.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either, but
I knew the
kind
title.
of remember, yeah.
And Cats Don't Dance originally had a DVD release on its own, but then was repackaged. So if you get it now, it's Cats Don't Dance and Quest for Camelot on the same DVD.
It's a double. Well, Cats Don't Dance is a short movie, so
yeah, I think probably Quest for Camelot probably is too.
Yeah.
They also animated The King and I. They made The Iron Giant.
Okay, Iron Giant was big.
Yeah, except that it made 23 million, but it cost apparently like a ton.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was still considered a flop at 23 million.
They bet big on that one.
Yeah. I don't think it was that big in theaters. I think we were adults at that point, and it was cool to adults.
Okay, that could be.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Well, it's interesting because Brad Bird made The Iron Giant. Brad Bird, who then went to Pixar, right? And is like the king of Pixar. He's won a bunch of Oscars and stuff for his movies over there. The director of this, Mark Dindal, he started at Disney, got basically poached by Warner Brothers to direct Cats Don't Dance.
Okay.
Disney wasn't letting him direct.
Oh, I see.
He had been one of the lead visual designers on The Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
And they had all these other animated things in the works. And his name was not coming up.
Right.
As possible director. So he got poached by Warner Brothers. On the other side of it, Brad Bird was already at Warner Brothers, made The Iron Giant, and then Pixar was being formed. And at Pixar, they would have thought The Iron Giant was cool.
Yeah.
Mark Dindal, though, our director, he only made this one movie for Warner Brothers. He went back to Disney.
Okay.
And made The Emperor's New Groove.
Okay.
And Chicken Little.
All right.
And that is apparently the last film he ever directed.
I see a little of that Chicken Little in that penguin that we have in our movie here.
Yes. Anyway, so they also made, just in terms of like this, I just think this is an interesting production story of like they were really having trouble figuring out what to do to get the attention of the public.
Let's try everything.
They made Cats and Dogs. They made Cats and Dogs: The Revenge of Kitty Galore, but neither of which we have ever talked about on this podcast.
No, we've not.
I suggested it like 2 years ago.
I think you did.
We've never done it.
Right.
Osmosis Jones. Do you remember that?
Oh, I kind of do.
Do you remember The Ant Bully?
No.
Do you remember, but you do remember the Yogi Bear from 2010.
Oh, yes, I do.
And they finally kind of got it together when they made Happy Feet. Well, they made a Dolphin Tale, Happy Feet 2, Dolphin Tale 2, and the Lego Movie.
Oh, boy. Okay.
But while they were in production with the Lego Movie, they actually shut down this division.
Oh,
it looks like. Although it claims that when they were still, because it says they shut down in 2013. Right now, it's just sort of a division in name only. Okay. There's not really anybody.
Yeah.
But they claim to have in process a live action version of Johnny Quest, an animated version of Huckleberry Hound, Yogi Bear 2, Tom and Jerry movie, and a Hong Kong Phooey movie.
Oh.
So they're just going through all of their properties.
Yeah, I guess
like,
so.
What do we own? What do we own? But if they own Huckleberry Hound and Hong Kong Phooey, would that also mean that they own Top Cat?
Possibly. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Okay. I find this stuff fascinating. That they decided in 1992, going back, that they needed this family-friendly entertainment division.
Right.
And hit it out of the park right away, really understanding what people wanted on television.
Yeah.
Because they'd been packaging those Warner Brothers cartoons as Looney Tunes for a very long time.
Right.
But never really getting the handle on what people wanted at the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And the closest they got was Space Jam, which was basically doing what they were doing on TV already, which was these are characters we own, and here they are. We already know you love them.
Mm-hmm.
Cats Don't Dance is interesting in that it's using this idea of movie studios and,
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't wrong, though. Cats Don't Dance was co-produced by Turner Feature Animation.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's charming.
Yes. It's a simple story.
It is a simple... I feel like when I'm watching it, like I'm missing something.
Like there should be something else?
Right, because here's the deal.
Yeah.
There's no B story.
No, there isn't, is there?
No. It's just an A story.
Mm-hmm. That's maybe why it's so short.
Yeah. Sitcom episodes
have A, B, and C.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
The character of... So there's Darla Dimple. She's an evil little... Not the Shirley Temple, the real person, was not evil at all. She was a wonderful humanitarian and ambassador.
Yes.
But this Darla Dimple character is evil. She also has a manservant.
Right.
Who is obviously... Not only is it obvious watching him, but it's also in the marketing materials that you know that he's based on the character from Sunset Boulevard.
Yes, correct.
Right? Gloria Swanson's manservant in Sunset Boulevard. And I want to know more about him. Like, where's his backstory?
What's the origin story of those two? How did those two get together?
Where are her parents?
Exactly.
She is a movie star.
She probably killed them.
With no parents anywhere. Just a manservant and a mansion.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't seem to have any friends.
No.
I mean, she doesn't have an agent. There's no other characters around her. And I feel like that's missing entirely. If this movie were made today, there'd be some kind of backstory. And at the end of the movie, if she didn't have a change of heart, her manservant would.
Right.
Right? And he'd be like dancing at the end. And you wait for that moment.
Yeah.
Because he's this giant character. And you want to see him do some funny dancing.
Well, he did do that at one point.
Did he?
Yes. It was happening.
Oh.
It was kind of happening like against his. He wasn't aware of it. It seemed like.
Yeah.
Just like his feet, just sort of started acting on their own, kind of.
He didn't sing though, did he?
No, he didn't sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I want
had
more of that.
Yeah.
I want to know what his deal is. I want to,
Yeah, but Darla wasn't going to stand for any of that. When he started the dancing, she put a stop to that.
Yeah. No, I would have liked to see him like tear off his jacket,
right?
And start
just cut
dancing
loose
with the hippo,
right?
Because they were about the same size.
Right. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, his voice was done by the director. The director had done a scratch track to let auditioning actors know what they were looking for,
right?
And they just used it. They just didn't cast anybody else.
Yeah. They could use that money for,
having two actresses play Darla Dimple.
For the Don Knotts singer, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, so much of it is charming. I mean, so much of it is sweet. I like the fact that when they were planning it, they actually went to go visit Gene Kelly at his home to get his input on the choreography.
Yeah.
He was so close to passing away.
Right.
He had already died before this movie was released.
Yeah.
I think.
It was dedicated to him at the very end.
Yeah. I think he died. And I'm not doing this because I looked it up. I'm doing this because I know exactly where I was when this is a person who I knew had so much effect on me in my youth, and I always knew that the day he died would be like a day I would have difficulty coping with the idea that he was no longer in the world.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was 96. It was either 95 or 96. Because I know what apartment I was living in grad school.
Okay.
I mean, we could obviously look that up. But in any case, he would have passed before this movie was even released. But they did, even in the film, there's a little homage to him in that when Danny the cat first arrives in Hollywood and he jumps off the bus at the Chinese theater, he lands in Gene Kelly's footprints.
Right, yeah.
blink and you'll miss it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's right there.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that. I feel like if they made this movie today, that we would be given even more of that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That we would, yes, there were actors here and there. There was like a funny bit with Betty Davis, an animated Betty Davis, and all that sort of stuff.
Jimmy Durante drives up for no reason with his giant nose, just to show off his big nose. Like, oh, that's Jimmy Durante, ha.
Yeah. Well, and there are those Warner Brothers cartoons from the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That do that.
Well, and I'm thinking, like, if you look at, like, those old Warner Brothers cartoons where they have a Jimmy Durante character or W.C. Fields or Stan and Ollie,
yeah,
they look just like they do in this movie.
I don't think they redrew them.
Okay.
I have a feeling they just took old cells and adapted them, or they just told young animators, we just need you to do this.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it needs to look exactly like this. Yeah, the only tricky part is that Tilly the hippo, she looks like those hippos in Fantasia, which is Disney.
Yeah.
That's the only place where I feel like it gets tricky. I think every other character, you know, that turtle is in early Warner Brothers movies. That little penguin is in early Warner Brothers movies.
Yeah.
There is a story that they needed a voice for the penguin, and some of them were sitting around having coffee one day, and a little boy walked by with his mom. Did you read that story?
Well, I know I was looking up to see who was actually playing that voice, so I know they.
Because you thought it was an adult dude.
Well, I wasn't sure. I was like, but it was a little boy.
It's a little boy. It's a little boy they just heard talking on the street.
Yeah.
And they asked his mom if he'd ever done any acting. That is all he ever did, was just the voice of that penguin.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a picture on his IMDb profile. It just says he is an actor known for Cats Don't Dance. He's older than you would have thought, though. He was born in 86, so if they laid down his tracks in 95, he's already 9 years old. Yeah. He sounds like he's 5.
He does.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good voice for the penguin, though.
It's perfect.
And it's very similar to the voice that penguin had in cartoons that were made like in the 40s or 50s,
right.
whenever they were made. Yeah, and I think that's why, I know it's charming and sweet and it's short and that's all well and good, but I just feel like they didn't try very hard. Is that terrible of me to say?
No, not really.
I'm just always waiting for something else. Because now I've seen it. The first time I watched it, when it showed up on my DVR, I think I actually watched it a couple times. Or at least I watched the musical numbers back through again.
Yeah.
And this time I watched it 2 more times. And I come away feeling like did I sleep through something? I missed something? And I didn't. I've seen it all.
But I agree with you. However, at the same time, if they had tried harder, there's like that much more of a chance that they could have screwed something up.
Yeah.
And it could have been not good.
Yeah.
What they've got right now is something that's good. It's not an all-time classic. It's not something you're going to watch again and again every year. Maybe
there's this whole...
There is a whole fan community. Yes. Well, at least up until 2009 there were.
People might still send this guy stuff. I don't actually know who this guy is.
They may have migrated all that stuff to a Facebook page.
Well, I kind of thought maybe he isn't with us anymore.
Okay, well, yeah, that's possible too. If somebody may have taken over.
That's possible. We should look for that right now.
Let's look that up right now.
We can do that.
Cats Don't Dance fan. They could have like a Facebook group.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. No, and I understand why people would be drawn to this movie because it does harken back to an early form of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Do you know the story about what the original idea for this movie was?
No.
Okay, so originally there was a plan to work with Michael Jackson.
Oh.
And to make a musical with Michael Jackson where he would be the lead. And there would be animated elements. Right?
Oh, yes. I had heard about this.
Okay.
It was going to be kind of a half and half half live action, half animated thing.
Right, and wherever it's referred to online, people kind of talk about the Paula Abdul video with MC Scat Cat.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was her homage to Gene Kelly.
Yes.
Where he dances with Jerry the Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
And in that famous combination of live action and animation.
Yeah.
So Michael Jackson had I remember when I read this, I was like, oh, yeah, that was a thing. Like, that went on for a long time, him saying he wanted to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some kind of plan. You know, didn't he have a relationship with Lucas and Spielberg?
I believe so.
Yeah. So there was this plan to do that. That wasn't going to happen. But there was a story about, there is a feral cat community that has lived in the Warner Brothers backlot since the silent days.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And so that was another story that had been in process, right? That people kept playing around with, doing just an animated film that would be about those cats and the fact that they've been there forever and like they know everything about the movies, and then maybe one day they want to be in a movie, right?
Yeah.
But the original plan for this whole thing was that whether it was with Michael Jackson or not, that they wouldn't be anthropomorphic cats. They were going to be more realistic as... So maybe it would have looked more like Watership Down or something.
Maybe, yeah.
You know? But they had
But not as violent.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, God.
They were trying everything over there at Warner Brothers Family Entertainment, the WBFE, as it's called and everything.
Oh, my.
Yeah, who knows what they thought they'd do. Yeah, but they thought it would be a story about these cats who live on this backlot. And I guess this title, Cats Don't Dance, had been around for a long time because it doesn't really apply to this film.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, you wait, it's like someone's going to stand up and go, cats don't dance. And that never happens.
No, it doesn't.
So it seems it would have been so easy to change the title. And maybe changing the title would have brought more of an audience to the film.
Possibly. Yeah, maybe people stayed away because, if the cats aren't going to dance, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
Why would I want to watch so this is like singing animals, no dancing cats?
Ha!
I'm out.
No, thanks. You're not getting my money.
Right.
I'm going to go over, see this other film
Right.
over here, this other 1997 film,
Yeah,
the title of which I can't think of right now.
I hear they're trying a sort of a Watership Down thing.
No, you would be wrong. So if you do search for Cats Don't Dance on Facebook,
Yeah.
here's a girl cosplaying as Sawyer.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of amazing. That's just from this summer. That's not...
So, okay, so there's... So still pretty active fans out there.
There's some pretty active fans out there. There's a lot of people doing 97. So this was its 20th anniversary.
Oh, how about that?
So what I do like in this film is I do like the animated dancing.
Yeah, me too.
I do like watching Danny dance. I do. I love the sort of Busby Berkeley elements of the Darla Dimple numbers. There's a number she does that's supposed to be being done for a film.
Mm-hmm.
That's the huge production values. I mean, for the imaginary film they're making, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like a Noah's Ark movie,
Right.
which is why they need animals.
That's why there's
all
all those animals.
She
Yes.
hates animals.
She does. Yes.
And then also she sings this song called Big and Loud, and
Yes.
the animation of it is, and actually it reminded me of Oliver and Company, because remember when the Bette Midler poodle and Oliver and Company
Yes, it was very much like
does that stuff. This is better,
Yeah,
right?
it is better.
Because this feels like it had real hands-on work done to
Mhm.
it. Like people really considered what was happening. I don't know why that Oliver and Company just
It falls a little short.
yeah, but it's also purports to be the story of Oliver Twist, and it just isn't.
Right.
There's that. I think another thing that I like about this is that, speaking of that, and I thought about this a lot, is that it doesn't have any source material.
Right.
Right?
It's an original story.
It does, in that we've seen this story before.
Exactly.
It's that
It
Star
feels-
is Born
Right.
thing.
It feels familiar, but it's It's new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. If it were going to be The Star is Born, it would
Mhm.
have to be a moment where Danny thinks he's become successful and then he's not.
Right.
And then he has to try again really hard. And that sort of happens.
It sort of
And then
does,
he
but
gives
not
up
really.
and he says he's going to go back to Kokomo.
Yeah, well, because he partners up with Darla, and she has other plans, and she single-handedly takes down all the animals, and none of these animals can work in Hollywood ever again.
Right.
Thanks to Danny.
Yeah.
Right? So Danny's like,
I got to get out of here.
I got to get out of town. I'm never doing this again.
But it lasts and partially it's because it's a short film.
Yeah.
But it lasts 90 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Tops.
Yeah. He's on the bus out of town, and then he's like, hey, wait a minute. I can fix this. I got an idea.
Cats do dance. And off he goes.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. It works. It all works.
It does.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
All right. Yeah.
In its way.
Maybe I've watched it too many times
Maybe.
now. And I still feel like there's supposed to be something else that happens.
I would agree with you there. It does feel, like you said, there's only an A story.
Yeah.
And that feels weird because we are so used to A, B, and C stories.
At least A and B.
Yeah.
And now that we're saying that, I wonder if that's why there's so much fan fiction.
Now, that could be.
People needing to fill in a story.
Sure.
We're told it didn't work out for Sawyer.
Mm-hmm.
We get some details, but not the whole picture.
Right.
Obviously we don't know what happens to them afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, it seems like there should be some other part to it. I don't know. How did their agent get into animal agent work? Did he try to be an agent for humans? It just didn't work out.
I think the agent story, I think probably one of his first clients ever was that fish and that goat. Because it seems to me like they've been with him for a very long time and they know him very well.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah. How did he meet that fish and that goat? How did the fish and goat meet?
In the office? Or on a film? Yeah, and I kept thinking about that. What's that Don Knotts movie? Where he's a fish? Is that the same fish?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's like half animation, half live action too.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah. When you said, what's that Don Knotts movie, the only thing I could think of is The Ghost and Mr. Chicken.
It's like Mr. Limpet?
That's the one. I think.
The one where he's a fish?
Ghost and Mr. Chicken. He's a newspaper reporter in Ghost and Mr. Chicken. He's got to spend the night in a haunted house. That's a great movie.
Does that have a B story? Is that just an A story?
I don't know right now.
You don't know.
No, there is a B story because he's romantically interested in this woman in town who's involved in this other guy who's with the paper. She only sees him as like a delivery guy because he delivers papers, but he's trying to be a...
It's the incredible Mr.
That's
Limpet.
it. Yes, that's the one with the fish.
So in this movie, he wants to join the Navy, but he's been rated 4F, so he can't.
Oh, dear.
So when he goes to Coney Island and falls in the water, and he gets his wish... Oh, okay, so I guess he says that if he had one wish, it would be to be a fish.
Ah.
Not to be in the Navy.
Okay.
You would think with this setup that his one wish would be to be in the Navy.
His one wish is to join the great military-industrial complex.
As a fish.
Yes.
So he goes to Coney Island, he falls in the water, gets his wish, and then he has friends, Ladyfish.
Oh.
So they thought a lot about that name.
They did.
Krusty the Hermit Crab. And he loves his new life, and he helps the U.S. Navy sink Nazi U-boats.
Oh,
wow. I wish this had cats in it.
I know.
I think I'd really like to watch it. It's interesting because just as I was scrolling through Don Knotts' IMDb page,
Mm-hmm.
it looks as if there have been a lot of animated things that have played on the fact that he once played a fish. And like put it in him, put him in their products,
right?
As an animated fish.
Okay.
Just because.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun. What about the Apple Dumpling Gang? That's another fun
Don
Knotts movie. Does that have a cat in it?
I
don't think we're going to get to watch any Don Knotts movies, Tim.
Maybe not.
It's too bad.
That is too bad.
Oh, well. Yeah, like Fish Police. Do you remember that?
No.
From the 90s. I actually remember that.
Wow.
Yeah. So they made him a turtle in Cats Don't Dance.
Yeah.
Huh. In Chicken Little, he played a turkey. Also directed by the same director.
There you go.
He really liked his voice work and said, "Hey, I've got a part for you as a turkey." And Don Knotts said, "Not a fish?" Said, "No, sorry, no fish." He said, "I'm in. I'm tired of playing fish."
Maybe they made Don Knotts a turtle because Arnold Stang wasn't available.
To be the turtle.
Yeah.
Or to be Top Cat.
Or to be Top Cat. I think Arnold Stang would have made a decent turtle as well.
I agree. I think people should see this if they haven't seen it.
I think so too.
I don't think it's hard to get. Where did you get it?
I rented it from Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon, like $2 rental.
All right.
Watched it on.
So you can do that.
Yeah.
You can. I got it from the library.
Okay.
And my library had the original DVD release.
Wow.
That has on it what they call DVD-ROM.
Okay.
It's not even called CD-ROM. Remember, it's 1997?
Yes.
Or 98, maybe. I'm not sure when they put out the DVD.
So is this, you get like extra stuff, you put it in your computer?
Oh, do you get extra stuff? Are you kidding me?
Oh, boy.
You get fun feline games. There's Cannon, Pudge, Catapult.
Wow.
The Darla Dodge Cakewalk. And then also there's downloadable wallpaper.
Oh,
Cats
my
Don't
God.
Dance wallpaper.
That's amazing.
There are a variety of movie trailers on there. And there's access. You get access to a website chat room online.
That would have been interesting to go into.
Which is no longer functional.
How long have you people been in this chat room?
What are you doing in here?
We don't know how to get out.
That sounds dangerous.
It does.
That sounds like a movie.
Right.
What if, like, so
That's a
there's
great movie. You get a movie from the library. It's the original 20-year-old
Yeah.
DVD-ROM. Oh, look at this. Connect to a chat room. This could be interesting. And there's people in there who have been in there.
And they're stuck. Or maybe they're ghosts.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more along the lines of like Japanese soldiers that are in the jungle in the Philippines don't know the war's over yet.
Oh, so these are people in a chat room who don't realize that the internet has advanced?
Yes. Like they thought that they have reached, like, this is the greatest that the internet has to offer. This is the limit.
That we can talk to people from around the world
Right,
who
by
also like this film.
Typing to them. Yeah. And we do this every day, all day, every day.
We don't know that social media has
20
developed.
years. That could be something.
We don't know that you could also do this from your phone. You don't have to sit at a desktop computer all day long.
Right.
I think maybe we're onto something.
I kind of like it.
How does it involve cats?
I don't know.
Cats jumping on keyboards.
Oh, dear.
All right. Well, we've come up with some good ideas now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe some not so good ideas. I'm just going to say it again. I know that people like it, and I think they will like this film. And I think if you only like it once, I think you'll love it.
Yeah.
But don't watch it too many times like I have. Because eventually it's going to leave you feeling a little bit empty.
It's going to make you think about it.
And I love musicals.
Sure.
It's not that I don't.
No, not at all.
No. I think that closing number
It's great.
is so good. Yeah.
It's great, yeah.
But there just should be more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Go play with your cats.
Go play with your cats.
Bye.
Bye.